Hello, beautiful people. This is the 16 by 20 painting I'm going to be talking about today. But first, I want to say thank you to my patrons. I appreciate your support, and if you like these videos, there's a tip jar in the description box. Please feel free to leave me a tip where small donations are welcome, and it keeps my channel going. Also, share and subscribe, and thanks for watching. So I love this painting. It reminds me of the overhead view of an ocean reef. It's really, really serene and pretty, but I thought it would be fun to try my Floetrol layering experiment. So that's Floetrol in this bottle, and you know how you get those yucky little strings coming off the Floetrol? I hate those. So usually the way I fix that is with this little pantyhose rubber band strainer thing, and it works great. But one of my viewers sent me this little Floetrol screw-on cap. It goes right on the top of the bottle. It screws down tight. The cool part is the lid still fits on afterwards. So yeah, there's info in the description box on where you can buy this cool little strainer, and thanks so much for my lovely viewers sending me all these cool little things that I can share with you on my channel. Speaking of which, I love the color shift. I've never tried them before, and one of my patrons sent me some of the color shift paints to try from my Amazon shop. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love this paint. It's like interference color, and I'm a sucker for something shiny. I think I was a bird in a former life. So what I do, all of my colors here are just literally mixed with Floetrol, and that's it. And I'm gonna do a little tiny baby flip cup just like I did on my last video. I'm just showing you, this is the interference gold. I'm totally in love with this color because when you mix it in, see, it doesn't really look like much, but when it dries, it's very, very shiny and kind of translucent looking, so I love that. Now, the regular gold, which I'm showing you right here, that's the iridescent gold fine from Golden, and you can see it definitely is more opaque, and it definitely has more of a yellow tone to it. Not bright yellow like deco art, but I'm gonna add a little bit of this Bling Indian spice. If you haven't checked out that, you should. It's a magical creation, and it just gives this extra little shine, shimmer to the paint. So I love that. Now you can see straight from the bottle, I'm just flooding my canvas with the Floetrol. This time I'm gonna be very deliberate in my placement, and I'm really thinking about composition, and I'm really thinking about the underpainting. So I really am thinking about the painting that's underneath there and what I can do to enhance it and work with the structures and composition that's already there. So I decided to do a little flip cup. Just flip the cup over, and I'm just dragging it just like you would if the layer was a white paint or another color. This is just Floetrol on there. Now I'm using my phone as a reference so I can remember what the original painting looked like, so I can really make the placement where I want. And I used colors that were lighter than the original pour because, like I said, I really want to bring some lightness to this painting. It's very beautiful as it is, but I think some light highlights would be amazing. So I go ahead and cover up the rest of the painting, and the reason I did that is I wanted to make sure that the same sheen, the same quality was over the whole painting, and you couldn't see any difference. But I noticed the canvas is sagging in the center, so I'm going to try to fix it with cardboard without turning the painting over, obviously, and having to start over. And I do not recommend doing this during a painting. It's very stressful. So I try to measure the size, and I go make some cuts and come back and try again. Now, I wish I wouldn't have had to do this, but if I don't stick something under there to support the sagging canvas, then all of those beautiful patterns we just made in the flip cup are just gonna pool in the center, and I don't want that. So I stuck the cardboard up underneath there. Pull out my airbrush. If you guys are interested in what airbrush I recommend, I do have a recommendation in my Amazon shop for an airbrush and a compressor, and you will need both. They're not that expensive, and they're really fun to play with. So yeah, I'm just pushing that paint through the Floetrol with my airbrush very gently. You know, I see blue lobsters, and I was like, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be cool if it turned out to be blue lobsters? And I talked to Sandra Lett about this, and I'm like, I want to paint lobsters. I wish I was as good a painter as you, but we'll see. Maybe I'll push myself to try. I get this idea to put the gold interference in like a layer all the way around, to kind of frame the painting. And you know, that interference is kind of translucent, so I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out in the end. I just use my airbrush to push it around. But lots of pretty lacing and cells on my blue lobsters. And I'm hoping it doesn't dry too much different, because I do like the look of it. Isn't that gold interference so pretty? I love that. So here is 12 hours later. It takes a long time to dry in my environment. I live in Portland, Oregon. It's very damp here. You can see there's still a lot of Floetrol, but some of those beautiful gold lacing, that interference is starting to pop through and gently lay on the original painting. This is 16 hours later. Still not quite there yet, but we're starting to get to see some more details coming through. 30 hours later, it's still not dry. See all the white part? But still you can start to get an idea of what it's going to look like when it's totally done, and I'm excited to show you. So please stay tuned to my next video to see the dried results. I'm sorry to do that to you guys, but plus you're going to get to see an epic triptych. This is the biggest triptych I've ever done. It's 3 18 by 24 paintings triptych, and with all of these paints. So many different paints, so many different colors, so many different brands. I wanted to just really bring in all the colors. The client asked for the colors of the sunset, so I literally pulled in all of these colors to use for this epic triptych. It's gonna be huge. I had paint dripping on my floor, down my legs. It was a huge process for me, for my little studio. So yeah, look at that palette. I can't wait to share this one with you too, guys. So until next time, thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to make more art videos just for you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit all notifications so I can make more art videos just for you.